Hello everyone, welcome to Tangle with Tracy Anne. I'm back, and if you're new to my channel, I've just had a bit of a break. What started out to be a short break ended up a bit longer because I delved into the world of learning how to write and illustrate children's picture books. I'll give you a little sneak peek at that, and then let's get on to some tangling. One of the courses I took was by Nina Rycroft, and I'll give you links below. It's called the Picture Book Illustration e-course, and it takes you right from designing characters, storyboarding, right up to finished pictures. It even goes into how to get published. The manuscript is by Ben Whittaker Cook, and it's amazing how everyone interpreted this manuscript in different ways. It's all about a little girl who gets mixed up at birth and is raised by a family of foxes. When designing the characters, it's important to keep them the same throughout the book, and I had a lot of fun giving them expressions and little antics in the background. So if you're interested in this course, I'll give you a link to Nina's website and you can check it out for yourself. The tangle I'll be focusing on today is Gourdgeous, and it's by Zentangle. I'll leave a full list of materials below this video. So I'm using a Phi type tile, just a rectangular tile, a pencil, a micron 01 and a white gel pen. I'll also be using a green Tombow marker. I've decided to use this because on one end you've got that brush tip and on the other end a fine tip, and you'll realize why I chose this later on in the video. I did use a thicker pen too for coloring, but I'll show you that later on. So we start with the 4 dots, and I'm doing quite a wide border. I think I've got that side a little bit narrow, so I'll just sort of move the dots slightly and then join the dots to form the border. Today's tangle Gourdgeous is spelt starting with G-O-U-R-D, Gourdgeous, because it resembles a gourd type vegetable. So we start off with a bit of a hook and then come down to that bulbous part. I'm just going to stop it there, then go and make an aura. This tangle has stripes, and you can just do it straight stripes, but I've decided to do a second aura, and then I'm going to do a thicker section for the stripe, which I'm going to fill in. So there it's slightly wider and curved on one side, and I'm using this uni-ball eye. You could use any other pen that's just a little bit thicker. It just makes the colouring quicker, and I'll speed that colouring part up a little bit. I'm going to add another little section on the edge here that's thicker. It just seems to weight that side down a little bit, and then I'll move back to my micron 01 pen and start the auraing again. The neck's quite thin, so I won't aura that section of the pattern the whole time, just at the beginning. So I've done one aura, this is my second aura, and now I'm going to come in and do that thicker part again. So I'm starting just at the top, not right at the end of the neck, and again we'll colour that section in. You can see how that bulbous part is forming. So we've got curves on one side, and we get to a point somewhere in the centre where we're going to have to change directions. So I'll do my auras again, and this time I'm going to take that curve and go the other way. So you can see there I've made that little shape, and now I can start curving my stripes in the other direction. and colour it in, and continue the same way on the other side. And you'll notice as I do these auras now, I'm not going right back to the top of that, the curly part at the top of the pattern. I'm just starting from the top of the bulbous part. I made that aura a little bit wide, so I've gone back in to make it thinner, and because this is a coloured part of the stripes, you don't notice it once I've coloured over it. You could just do plain stripes and not have that extra aura if you're finding that a little bit too difficult. It's up to you how you want to draw this. So you can see now the curves are going in the opposite direction. It sometimes helps to just pause and stand back and look at the overall drawing so that you know you're going the right way. It's easy to sort of get a little bit wonky, but that doesn't really matter anyway. So I'm going to finish up now doing these extra auras to finish off this bulbous section. I'm going to twist the tile and add another gourd in this area here. So start again, but you notice that I've run out of room, so I'm stopping when I get to that other pattern so that it looks like this one is sitting behind it. Once you get to this point, it might help to just reassess where that bulb is going to sit. really take your time drawing these auras. There's no rush. I'll slow it down a little bit. I speed up the videos because a lot of people only skip through and watch about 30% of them, but you can always pause the video and go back to it if you're following along. I find that when you're drawing those auras, it helps to follow the line before it with your eyes. A lot of people say to me, I can't keep a straight line, and it really is just practice. Once I've finished drawing, I always go back and neaten up some of my lines. I find that when I'm especially colouring, I leave gaps and my eyes aren't the best, so I use this magnifying lamp and it really helps to fill in those little areas. So there it is, but that will need to dry because the ink takes a while to dry. Now with this Tombow pen, use some scrap paper of the same kind of paper that you'll be using, and you can notice if I use the brush tip, once I'm colouring it leaves streaks, but because these are light watercolours, you can use a paintbrush, I'm using a water brush, and just blend that in. It reacts almost like using watercolours, but the colours are really quite vivid. Just like watercolours, when you get areas that have dried, you will get that watermark showing. So move quite quickly, and it really is important what paper you're using. So be sure to test the paper before you start. Now I've got a little bit too much water on there, so I'll bring a little bit off. And I think there is still a bit too much because here's another piece that I did and it ended up quite smooth. Another way of using these markers is to get some kind of plastic surface, scribble on it, and then pick up that pigment with your brush. It is easier to make a nice smooth painting, but you can see the colours quite washed out compared to when I drew on there with a pen. So I've decided I'm going to use that brush tip, put my water brush and a tissue or a piece of paper towel handy, and off I go. Do small sections at a time. I just went over the lines a little bit there, so I'm going to clean my brush and then just with water go back over my pattern and lift just that little bit of paint off. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to use the fine tip at the other end of the pen. And now I'm going to start tangling into my border. I'm using another Zentangle pattern, Rixty, but you could substitute this for any tangle you like. I'm filling in the gaps with a few little orbs here and there. Now I'm going to continue all the way around this border doing the same thing. Make sure that your background is completely dry. I'm using this 08 white gel pen and I'm going to continue doing that Rixty pattern inside on the green section. Some people ask me about the white gel pens, they have trouble, and if that background is wet at all, your white gel pen will not work. It's really important also to use a very light touch. Sometimes you'll be pressing down really hard, and then if you just lift the pressure off a little bit, you'll find that the ink comes out much more easily. Here's the finished results, and I did another one in a different colour, but on this one I've got a little less pattern in the border and I think that looks better. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you won't miss out on future videos. Thank you for watching, and until next week, stay safe and bye for now. If you'd like to see more of my videos, head over to my YouTube channel, or there are a couple of links somewhere here on the screen. And down there, that's the subscribe button.